Hey there, thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Spiritual Scientist. I'm Victor. Thanks for checking me out. So, I'm going to talk to you about a little bit of, I guess, astrophysics, a little bit about what's going on with the astronomy, what's going on with the universe a little bit, and I attended with Neil deGrasse Tyson, a lecture. He's going around for a new book he has. So, got to, attend that, which was always fun. It's about, I think, the third or fourth of his I attended. I got to speak to him personally a few times. Once for more than 10 minutes, which was neat. And I spoken to other scientists when I get a chance, when I go to their book signings and things like that. So a little bit of a fan about science and space, obviously. So I have a unique perspective on it, since I have this higher dimensional way of looking at things. So let's talk about that a little bit. I thought I'd mention some of the outstanding ones in the last few years that have really hit home. And so one of them was, for a quote-unquote Mandela effect, was Jupiter. Jupiter used to be that you need a telescope to see it, right? And I mentioned it. I said, I feel like Jupiter's getting closer, and now you don't need a telescope to see it. And then everybody attacked my channel and then said, you're crazy. Of course you need a telescope to see Jupiter. And now it's at they said 51 years closest approach to the Earth. So obviously it's seen by the naked eye. So you could even, they said, maybe even see some of the moons. I was like, what? So anyway, that's a strange one. Just thought I'd talk about the James Webb telescope. The James Webb telescope was 2016 that it was going to be up there. And then I saw headlines that said, yeah, James Webb's telescope was just launched. That was 2017. That was 2018. It's like every year the James Webb telescope was launched and then found out later it wasn't launched. It wasn't like I missed a launch window. It was launched, and then all of a sudden it's not launched. So I guess you see it from a multiverse perspective, if you want to call it that. Then it all kind of makes sense. Watching all the timelines at once from a higher dimensional perspective, maybe, not sure. So that I saw that happen many times. Now, Oumuamua, the interstellar object that came from outer space. If you don't know about it, look it up. So most people, I think, know about it. If you're following my channel, you probably know all about it. So they said that it speeded up with some kind of a gravitational assist as it left our part of galaxy and universe rather. And so what they said was there was a second interstellar object. So there was a second one that was coming, and they tracked it, and everybody was really excited about it. And this dropped off, I guess, so maybe that timeline went away. So maybe it's still doing something, but there was a second interstellar object. You could look it up yourself. But that's disappeared, so I haven't heard from that in a while. There was a Jupiter had 21 moons and it had 46, and now I don't know how many moons there were. I used to be able to name most of them. Forget it now. And then there was a telescope that they were using. The strange part was the Vatican had a telescope named Lucifer, but there's another telescope in the U.S. that they're using three with around the Earth. There's one in Australia. I believe it's in South America somewhere is the second one. The third one Anyway, it's also, the U.S., but we had to coordinate to find things out about the sun and things like that. Anyway, they said that the FBI had to raid the place and they shut it down for 10 days. That's been said that there was some kind of somebody doing child porn from it. But I remember in 2018, the same thing happened. I don't know if this is a double or if this happened twice, that the government had to do a raid and they shut down the telescope. So I don't know if that's some kind of timeline shift, if it's repeating. Not really sure about that, but I thought I'd mention that. So a lot going on in that respect. So there is a lot of things. I'm gonna skip one that I was gonna say, but it's I think it might be classified. I'm not sure. I'm obviously civilian, so if I discern it by my own looking at things, but it seems to be classified, so I'm gonna leave that off for now. I was about to mention it, but it has to do with Australia, with a military base, but I'll leave it at that and won't mention it. So, and the other things out there are that I mentioned obviously that we were in the Orion, we were in Sagittarius arm. Now we're in the Orion Spur. That goes without saying. And we had a big galaxy cluster that was just there recently. Other things in the news are popping up. Beetlejuice. So don't say that 3 times. It's getting towards Halloween. So that star was supposed to. They're thinking about it going nova, and then that would be like having a second sun in the sky. I'm not sure how long that would be. So that's kind of interesting. I thought maybe the whole thing about the sun, they said that if the sun changed diameter, then that would be like big trouble for for everybody. That's kind of apocalyptic, so praying that kind of stuff doesn't happen. But I mentioned I did see the sun. I looked at it, and then I went bong. And then a lot of things people are seeing about the sun recently. So I thought I'd tell you about that a little bit, skipping forward. So there were, I reported one time, they said that there was another moon. I saw at one point there, the Earth had 5 moons, which was pretty crazy. But there was another moon, and then they discerned that it was at the Lagrange point, and it was just it was a lot of dust and maybe a giant boulder, and that would be qualified as another moon, and the exact opposite side of the orbit from the Earth where the moon is. So I just thought that was kind of strange. They said eventually that rock would fall out. One of the other things is that we have the Starlink. So they're calling the Starlink a constellation, which is really annoying. So when that constellation, those go up more, that's going to obstruct the view for telescopes, which is disheartening. So I don't know if they really need all these, these things up in the, in space around us. So that's kind of annoying as well. Anyway, just thought I'd give you some of the recent updates with what's going on in space around us with from a higher dimensional perspective, from looking at all the different kind of timelines as it were, and thought I'd give you an update. But if anybody finds out about that second interstellar object, and then there was another there was that other giant asteroid that was the biggest asteroid ever, and that's kind of dropped off the face of reality. But that was a giant asteroid, but they said that wouldn't come for a while. And then we had Apophis, which been watching, but they said that that was coming at 2051, but that wouldn't bother us. Anyway, thanks so much for tuning in. Like, subscribe, share. Bye bye.